All right, everybody, we're live, and the next head coach of the New York Jets is officially Robert Saleh, former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. We're live. We want your reactions. Jump over to the YouTube live chat, drop your questions, comments, and everything in between. The Jets have their next head coach, and I got to tell you guys immediately, I'm elated, I'm excited, I'm over the top. This is the guy I wanted, realistically. Fans of the Jet Zone, my weekly Jets podcast released every Wednesday. We talk about it. When a fan asked me, what's your dream head coaching combination of head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, I gave my answer for that. And then I gave a follow-up answer of what my realistic head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator would be for the Jets. My answer, and that I just retweeted it on Twitter, head coach Robert Saleh, offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur, and defensive coordinator Chris Richard. Now, I'm saying that I give predictions because I don't. I give spoiler alerts. That's what happens here, okay? What I say happens. I speak it into existence. Robert Saleh is now the next head coach of the New York Jets. According to everyone that I've talked to, Mike LaFleur will now be his offensive coordinator. That was part of Robert Saleh's in the meetings to the Jets over that 2-day period. The defense coordinator is still up in the air, but what from my gathering, my gut, what I would do for the DC is Chris Richard. He worked with Robert Saleh when they were together with the Seattle Seahawks from 2011 to 2013, and that to me would be a dream addition because Chris Richard took the last year off. He had previously been with the Dallas Cowboys. They won a Super Bowl championship together with the Seattle Seahawks. It's exciting because Robert Saleh is everything this franchise needs. He's a perfect scheme fit, and quite frankly, he's young, he's fiery, he's passionate, he's emotional, he's a recruiter. He can rally people. Okay, you can just see that on some of the interviews that he's already done and some of the tweets looking forward to that press conference. Robert Saleh is exactly what the Jets need right here and right now. This is what they need. And Robert Saleh is a perfect fit for this gig. I love it. I'm enthralled. We're going to be diving deeper in about it. If you want to learn more about him, right now on my YouTube channel, scroll down and find the interview with Peter Panassi of Niner Noise. He joined me. We talked about the potential of the hire, the staff he could build, the concerns, the pros, the cons of the hire. That video is out right now, so make sure you go check it out. We'll re-release that as well. We may have another conversation with Peter. I'm going to dive in and get even more guys. It's believed that part of Robert Saleh's pitch, on top of that, was bringing a Shanahan offense here to the Jets. That should be exciting for a lot of reasons. Again, if you're just jumping on the channel, hit subscribe. This exciting time as Jet fans. Also, jump in the YouTube live chat. I want to hear your questions, your comments on the hire. How are you feeling, Jet fans? Robert Saleh is your next head coach. Let's hear what you guys have to say, and you'll hear what I have to say. I've got a lot of takes, a lot of fire, a lot of passion, and we are here. I am enthralled. I am excited, elated. This is a great day to be a Jets fan, and this kind of came out of nowhere, quite frankly, because the Jets had Robert Saleh in their building. They had him in their building for 2 days, and guess what? They let him leave. And a lot of Jet fans, like myself, I got to be honest, Darren Tewksbury, welcome. Love it, man. One of my loyal subscribers here on the channel, and also with all my stuff, Joe Douglas did it. But here's the thing I want to say, Darren. The thing that worried me, quite frankly, is they let him leave the building. They did this before when they let Cliff Kingsbury, leave the facility. They liked him a lot, and they let him go over to Arizona, and he became their next head coach. Robert Saleh did interview with the Philadelphia Eagles shortly after leaving his time with the New York Jets. So that also was a bit of a concern. And Robert Saleh, to me, has always been numero uno for me. Again, I gave the dream candidate of Bill Cowher, of course. I was excited when I dove in more detail about Bill Cowher, but my realistic number one was Robert Saleh. He is a guy that, again, checks off all the boxes. He's fantastic. He not only do you can take my word for it, and obviously a lot of you guys do from subscribing to this YouTube channel and my podcast and everything else, but I got to tell you, listen to Richard Sherman. Listen to the players that love him, that have played for him. They rally around him. They mean the world to him, quite frankly. So again, I'm just so excited. I am over the top right now. This is a great day. Again, surprising news late here on a Thursday night. The Jacksonville Jaguars made the first hire of the latest NFL head coaching cycle a little earlier tonight. Urban Meyer came from the college ranks to be the number one first hire of the NFL offseason. Guess what? The Jets are number 2 here, getting Robert Saleh. And here's some more, and we're going to dive deeper in this. We'll have a better video over the weekend talking about this in a bit more detail. But Robert Saleh and also for the Jets both identified each other as top of the market guys. First off, the New York Jets identified Robert Saleh as their number 1 guy. He was obviously the first guy they brought back for a second interview, and then it lasted 2 days. They spoke with ownership. They spoke with Joe Douglas. They let him leave so they could think about this decision and also let Robert Saleh think about it with his family as he was taking other interviews. And then I think it was one of those where the Jets gave Robert Saleh a hall pass. Let me make this analogy here for a second, okay? Robert Saleh and the Jets were married for a little bit. It wasn't known to everyone else, but they gave each other a hall pass. They said, you know what? For a week, why don't you go out? You could date some other women, see how things are. You could date some other guys. And you know what? At the end of it, I think it'll be better for us in the long run. Both of these guys come together after just a couple of days. You know what? Screw the hall pass. We want you. We want each other. It was eharmony.com. ChristianMingle.com. They were pairs for each other. Salt and pepper, yin and yang, mac and cheese. And they're together, and that is exciting for Jet fans. Here's more from Ian Rappaport saying, quote, the Jets chose Robert Saleh as their next head coach in part because of his leadership abilities, running one of the NFL's best defenses, and he went into the process believing the Jets had one of the top openings, and he landed it. Again, this is what you want. You want to be wanted, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your job life. You want to be wanted. You want to be craved. And the Jets craved Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh craved the Jets, and it was a match made in heaven. And now, again, the Jets have their 19th head coach in franchise history. And coming off the Adam Gase horrible hiring, again, I think the majority of Jet fans realize that this was a colossal mistake, hiring Adam Gase. And then they go to the other side and they get Robert Saleh, a guy who so they hired an offensive whiz who finished 32nd in both of his years at the front of the operation. And then on the other side of the coin, Robert Saleh on the defensive side of the ball. And I know a lot of Jet fans are probably a little upset. They're like, defensive guy, learn more about him. Embrace, dive in if you're a Jets fan. Dive into interviews I've done. Dive into interviews you did with Adam Schefter. A phenomenal interview to learn more about the man, the myth, the legend. Who is Robert Saleh? What does he mean? What is he about? What is his identity? Well, for those Jet fans that are fearful of a defensive guy coming in, from what I'm hearing, his offensive guy, in case you missed it, will be Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt LaFleur, Green Bay Packers head coach. Mike LaFleur is a young offensive mind that is highly regarded, highly heralded in this league. Matty M, let's go! Yes, we got our hire. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Thanks for commenting in. This is awesome. Again, the Jets have their next head coach, and they both picked each other. And also, I think another part of this, and he is for the culture, I think that's a big part of it. Coming off the Adam Gase situation that was god-awful, okay? Robert Saleh is a culture guy. He is a leader of men. That was one of the number one traits I was looking for. When fans ask me, Paul, what do you want in the next head coach? I want a leader of men. I want a guy who's going to grab this team by the ball sack and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And also a guy that's okay to jump over to the offense, jump over to the defense, jump over to special teams, a CEO guy that can oversee the entire operation. And he has a trusted offensive confidant in Mike LaFleur that's going to lead this offense. And that leads us to our next question. I addressed it a little bit on our podcast, The Jet Zone. But what does this mean for Sam Darnold? Now, for me, and I've been saying this for months, if Sam Darnold was going to be traded, the dream fit for Sam Darnold's career, and maybe for the Jets from a draft pick compensation perspective, is, of course, trading Sam Darnold to the 49ers. Now, Robert Saleh creating that direct path line creates an opportunity to either trade Sam Darnold to the 49ers, that you have that relationship between Saleh and Shanahan. And the other part of this is, I think there's also the opportunity, door number two, that Saleh bringing Mike LaFleur here in the quote-unquote Shanahan offense, maybe Sam Darnold can stay here and thrive in the Shanahan offense. I thought he could have if he went to San Francisco. I think that is a factoid. In these meetings, Robert Saleh gave his plan, including at quarterback, because Joe Douglas asked him, hey, What do you think of quarterback? What do you think of Sam Darnold? What do you think of some of the guys in the draft? Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. What do you think of those guys? What do you think of Darnold? What's your plan? And Saleh gave his opinion. He gave his opinion on the plan. Here's what I would do if I was the guy. Well, now he is the guy. He has options. The best kind of test you can take is multiple choice. I loved that in high school. Loved it in elementary. Multiple choice. I have options. Pick one or the other. Robert Saleh, the New York Jets, and Joe Douglas have options. They also have time. They made this hire late on January 14th. Late at night, the second hire of the process, Robert Saleh, now that you have your guy, you can build the rest of your staff. Mike LaFleur's coming over. I think keep an eye on Chris Richard as the DC. News may break as we're doing this YouTube live stream here on a Thursday night, but Chris Richard to me makes a ton of sense. And also, all the free agency. Senior Bowl's coming up, the NFL Draft. This is an exciting time to be a Jets fan. They have 18 picks over the next 2 years. Not only did the Jets identify Saleh as their number one guy, Saleh identified the Jets as one of the top landing spots here. And he goes from West Coast to East Coast. And I think this is a home run hire, an A-plus hire. And also, the Jets stole him from Detroit. Detroit politicians came out. He's a Dearborn, Michigan native. He has roots in Michigan. Okay, the Lions had Saleh if they wanted him. And you want to know what? The Jets swooped in and gave him an offer he couldn't refuse, a 5-year deal that links Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, the two bald guys together, the two energetic, passionate, bald guys that are now going to lead the Jets into the future. So it's just exciting. There's no other way to put it. Credit to Josina Anderson, credit to Adam Schefter for everybody and making sure it happened. The Jets, by the way, visited with Robert Saleh for a second time and appeared committed. They also hosted Arthur Smith as well. And again, I think that's what sealed the deal. They interviewed 9+ candidates, all in Zoom interviews. And then they brought in Robert Saleh as the first person they brought in for a second interview, an in-person interview where they talked to everybody, man. And it's just great. And that's the thing, Maddie. And that goes to the culture of not only 49ers players loving him, but the Jets. Man, just check Twitter already. Becton Williams tweeting, let's go about the news. The players are even excited to have him. Think back to when Gase was hired. Nobody tweeted about him because he was trash. Amen, Maddie M. He was. He was garbage. He was trash. And no one was excited. Look at this Jets fan base right now. They are rallying. They're tweeting out videos left and right. It is an exciting time to be a New York Jets fan. And we got our guy. You know what? There have been hires in the past that, quite frankly, I was depressed about. I'm like, oh boy, I don't think this is going to work out. And one of the other things that I really wanted, quite frankly, I didn't want to be convinced as a Jets fan, okay? I wanted to be excited. When they hired a guy, I wanted to go, woohoo, yeah, baby. I didn't want to go, boy, that guy just got fired, or this just happened, or that just happened. The Jets just landed their number one guy, Robert freaking Saleh, man. Screw the number one pick. Screw Trevor Lawrence. We got our guy, baby. Jets, Jets, let's go. All right, let's get some more here. Mr. Energizer game in 1992. Jets chant got more exciting and intense. Hell yeah. Also, for those who haven't seen it, go to my Twitter, @BoyGreen25. I tweeted out this Robert Saleh, like, emotional, passionate little quick 6-7 second video of him, like, amped up on the sideline. And I said, that's Jet fans right now. Check out that video on my Twitter account. That's Robert Saleh, baby. He brings energy, he brings passion. But the Jets aren't just bringing him in because he's a rah-rah guy. And I got this question on the Jets Zone, so I want to address it here. We're going to only go for a couple more minutes here. And then we'll dive deeper throughout the week, but I'm just over the top right now. I won't be able to sleep tonight now. But I think part of it is that some Jet fan asked me, hey, man, is the Robert Saleh thing just an overreaction to Adam Gase, who was kind of this noob nerd in the locker room, like, you know, a nerd in the film room? Like, is he quiet and they're just going the complete opposite way? I don't think so. I think Robert Saleh was highly regarded. It's not, I know he was highly regarded in the league. He interviewed with basically every team that had an opening. And this wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when he would be a head coach. Robert Saleh was inevitably going to become a head coach, and this was the right opportunity, both for the Jets and right opportunity for Saleh. And quite frankly, it reminds me of when Joe Douglas was hired. Another guy that was regarded, really waited and bided his time. Other teams had come to him over the years and interviewed him, and it didn't work out. Saleh last year was one of the finalists for the Cleveland Browns job. And again, this is the right opportunity for all sides. And Jet fans, get ready. We are in a new era, and this is fantastic. What route do you think they would take with the second pick? Again, I kind of talked about it a few minutes ago, but kind of in more detail here. I think Sam Darnold's on the table. I think the number 2 pick is on the table. Now, schematically wise, I think it's kind of a coin flip between Zach Wilson, who a lot of people believe could fit beautifully in the Shanahan offense. There's also a lot of people who are high on Justin Fields. From what I understand, it's kind of 1A, 1B from a draft perspective at quarterback. I think you could go either way at number 2, but again, multiple choice. You have options, baby, and options is the best. I think Sam Darnold traded to the 49ers is a huge possibility this offseason. So really, you can convince me of either path, whether you're trading back. But here's the thing. With the number 2 pick, to answer your question, I think there are only 2 options. You either take a quarterback or you trade back. Because if the Jets don't like Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, or Trey Lance, I bet somebody else's ass will be, and they will pay a premium price to trade up in the draft. So to me, if I'm the Jets, I take a quarterback or trade back and let another team take a quarterback and get a king's ransom. Okay, but if they deem Robert Saleh now, the brand new head coach, and Joe Douglas, if they deem one of these quarterbacks a franchise quarterback in this class, you have to go quarterback. Do not get fucking cute. You don't get cute. Okay, when it's quarterback, I don't want anyone to comment in here and say, "Oh, Paul, well maybe if you trade back, you could get Trey Lance." No, you don't trade back. If there's a quarterback you love, you pull the goddamn trigger and you take that quarterback. You don't play around. Okay, you don't pussyfoot around with the quarterback position. If they say, I don't know, if they say Trey Lance, oh boom, he is a franchise quarterback, then god damn it, you better run up to that podium with the number 2 pick and take goddamn Trey Lance or Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. I'm not ready to throw my stake down on anybody right now. If I had to, it'd probably be Fields, but I think I can be swayed before April here. If it was right now, I'm taking Fields, but Zach Wilson's possible. Trey Lance is possible. I don't know. But here's what I'll say. If the Jets brass, deems one of these guys a franchise quarterback, you better bet your biscuits that they are taking a quarterback with the number 2 overall pick, and let's go, baby. I'm so amped right now. I could run through a brick wall, and I feel like that's how the players feel right now on social media. I feel like it's how the fans feel right now, and we deserve this. We just went through an 0-13 start to the season, finished 2-14. This season sucked. Quite frankly, this decade sucked. We haven't been to the playoffs since 2010, for God's sakes. So you know what? Enjoy it, Jet fans. Turn the F up. Hit that goddamn subscribe button. We got videos coming out. Follow me on Twitter, @BoyGreen25. I am amped up. You should be amped up. And we got so much more coming for you. Turn up, baby. I'll be on the radio live tomorrow morning here in Syracuse talking about it. Getting ready to get fired up, baby. Fired up. Because we're going to be here. The Man-Child Show of Boy Green, Score 1260. It's on my Twitter. Check it out. We're going to turn up at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, getting ready to talk about and me kind of do a jig and a dance, which you won't be able to see on the radio. But I'm sure we'll see it soon here on YouTube and also the Jet Zone next week. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Continue to celebrate. Continue to get excited. We'll have more content coming out, baby. The Jets have their guy, baby. Let's go. Get excited, because it's an exciting time to be a New York Jets fan.